I heard a sentiment, a biblical sentiment from a spirit-filled believer on social media where he mentioned Genesis chapter 32, where God gave Jacob a limp because Jacob had wrestled with God all night. And then the wrestling ended come daybreak. So the sentiment that this man proposed was, he said, I do not trust anyone who does not walk with a limp in the Lord. He didn't say in the Lord, but his context was those that claim to be Christians. If you do not walk with a limp from your walk with God, do not trust them. Now, what that means is, as a Christian, we are called to crucify our flesh and to walk with the Spirit. Doesn't mean that your hip literally has to be broken. What it means is that spiritually you walk with a limp, not because necessarily you're arguing with God or you're going back and forth with God, although that sometimes happens in relationship with the Lord, but walking with a limp in the Lord is having the Lord's presence, having His grace, having Him change you as we move from glory to glory. So there's also another sentiment that says, I'm basically, you can be friends with people, but not everybody has a voice in your life. And that's the same kind of concept as this walking with a limp. If somebody is claiming to be a Christian and they're not spirit filled, they're not walking in the Spirit, they're not reading and praying on a normal basis, they do not have a voice in my life spiritually. I will still hang out with them, but they will not have a direct voice in my life because they are not actively walking with God. Now, that's not prideful because, yes, God can still speak through them, but they are not walking with Him as they claim to be. And so they do not have a limp because they're not letting Him change them. So in my life, very few have a voice in my life spiritually. So we must, all Christians, walk with a limp, walk in the Spirit, crucify our flesh